The title of today's video is not clickbait. This thing is humongous, but it makes 5.1 billion and it worked on Donut. It makes $5.1 billion every single day consistently. Now, if you watched a couple of my videos, you know that this is like a crazy milestone and you might be confused how this even happened. So yeah, let me break it down. So basically, Pedro just randomly put the hopper limit up to 8,000. Before that it was 3,200. And in kelp farms, hoppers are really important because you have smokers to smoke the kelp, right? And you always need two hoppers per smoker, one to input the kelp and one to input the Blazerods, right? That's necessary. So the amount of smokers is also connected to the amount of money you make, so basically connected to the amount of hoppers you can place. And since it was 3,200, the max you could make per day was like 2.3 billion maybe, but now it is 8,000. And yeah, as you saw in today's title, $5.1 billion isn't even just a possibility, it is real. This thing makes 5.1 bill a day. You can have it in my Discord. I know it's humongous, but it is pretty simple. What you need to do to use it is basically just, you drop your bones right here. You want to drop 6.72 million bone blocks every single day. And then over there, on top of this like construction thingy, that's like this block, and you want to drop your Blazerods here, 5 million of them every single day, please. Just so everything fills up. If you want, you can put this, like, this is 24 hours, right? But you can also fill it with 18-hour rates to make it work. But I would not recommend less than 18-hour rates, because at like this monstrosity you need a lot of money to fill it, and then you need to have a lot of Blazerods to run it as well, right? Because every single bone block put in uses a Blazerod, so it doesn't even work if you just fill it completely, right? That won't even do the job. Yeah, but let me go over the farm, okay? So this is actually where we turn it on, and if I do that, we will have a little lag spike because we have 6 of these beautiful farm designs I've customly made with JSS, GSS. And as you can see, the kelp grows extremely fast to the top and then gets broken by these pistons, pushed in to the front by all this water stuff, you know, comes down. Then actually I'm low-key lagging a little, you know. On Donut you will not be lagging this much because it is it's running over the server, right? The server's rendering it for you, so it won't even lag that much on Donut. But in my single player world, my PC is obviously handling it, so that is laggy. And then we can see the kelp flowing over here and then just looping around. We have this module 6 times, so we have this kelp farm and then it looping around and then going up, and then we have this type of layer 3 times, and then we have it all connected with unloaders for Blazerods with this minecart. As you can see, the unloaders put Blazerods into this system, which fills all the stuff. You know, these hoppers go into the minecarts below, and the minecarts right here just fill the whole system with Blazerods. You know, that's how it's supposed to work. Okay. Then we have these like beautiful crafters for dried kelp, and this I think, wait, why is this not working? Okay, what the hell? Yeah, my single player world's bugged, I think. Yeah, this is how it's supposed to work. You can see it over there. These observers detect the redstone updating from the clock, and then the why the hell isn't this dark? But this crafter then gets updated and crafts the dried kelp he's getting from these hoppers. As soon as the minecart, yeah, we can test it real quick. So as soon as the minecart arrives here and has something with it, okay, it's gonna put it into the hopper, right? The hopper puts it into this hopper, and then this comparator turns this torch off because it detects something in this hopper, and this repeater turns this block off. You know, like this block is currently being powered and powering these 2 rails, right? So without this repeater, these 2 rails wouldn't be lit, so the minecart just stays there, and when it's unloaded, the whole circle refreshes and it gets powered again and goes off. It is a pretty simple system. I don't think I need to explain much more. Yeah, for these little rails we have a minecart connecting to all 3 of the unloaders. We have that for every single little row here, like 6 times in total, obviously, because we have 6 rows. And then we have the Blazerods storage. This is all Blazerods shulker storage, right? Because this right here is a shulker loader I've made with JSS GSS. It is custom for this farm, so we save hopper space, okay? It isn't that complicated, so I wouldn't be like, yo, this is the best, but like it is a good shulker loader, okay? Yeah, what it does is basically it puts all the Blazerods into shulkers and then puts the shulkers into the storage where they can be distributed over the farm easier, because it's just like the small amount of items, right? Yeah, that's pretty much most of it. There's a couple of stuff you need to do. Okay, so you have these 2 chests, you need to fill them with shulker shells, and then this chest with chests. This is for the bone loader. So when you drop 6.7 million bone blocks, okay, you want to refill them in the middle or something like that, because they run out pretty fast. We cannot add more because we are exactly at hopper limit, which is 8,000, thanks to Pedro's new update. This is the same shulker loader design, and as you can see, you need to also have this crafter be on 6 slots and a chest in the middle and shulker shells around it, so it crafts shulkers into the system, okay? Same thing over here, obviously. You want to have shulker shells in these 2, and then... oh wait, let me check again. Yeah, you want to have chests in this chest, and then shulker shells in these 2, okay? And this is the craft that you want to be changing up. It is already changed, like, you know how it works, okay? So it's not that hard, right? Yeah, I showed you how to turn it on, I showed you how it works. I think that's pretty much it for today's video, actually. This is your huge storage. Don't ask questions. This is just to save hopper space, because these droppers always push them forward slowly, and then as soon as there's a shulker in here, it gets pushed into the chest, and then this chest, and then this chest, okay? So it's just to save hoppers, okay? We could also use water, but I chose not to because this is a cooler system. I like it more. And Pedro also pushed the dropper limit, so might as well experience with it anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you want this farm, go grab it in my Discord. It is free, obviously, like all my farms. And yeah, maybe you want to subscribe, because this took me 22 hours and I lucky did not sleep.